So Zillow might be banning listings permanently, and most people don't even realize it yet. Zillow just made a major policy change that takes effect May 1st. And whether you are buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the real estate market, this will impact you. In short, if a home is publicly marketed but not entered into the local MLS within 24 hours, Zillow will ban that listing permanently. No exceptions, no second chances. At first glance, this might seem like it will only affect real estate agents, but it goes much deeper than that. This change affects what buyers can see online and how sellers get their homes in front of those buyers. With over 200 million monthly users, Zillow is one of the most powerful platforms in real estate. Losing access to it could be a big deal for sellers, and buyers may not even know a home exists if it is banned. So in this video, we are going to break down just exactly what Zillow is doing. What's the motivation behind it? Who's going to be affected? And how might it impact your next move in the housing market? Before we get into it, if you find this video useful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I do try to post new and helpful content every week for home buyers, home sellers, and homeowners just like you. So what exactly is Zillow changing? This new policy is called Zillow Listing Access Standards, or ZLAS for short. Catchy name, right? Here's the rule in simple terms. When a listing is publicly marketed to consumers, whether it's through a sign in the front yard, an Instagram or other social media post, or on a brokerage website behind the lure of exclusive inventory, it must be submitted to a multiple listing service, or MLS, within 1 day and published on Zillow and other sites that receive those listing feeds. So what is Zillow's reasoning behind this? Well, they say it's about fairness. The basis for these standards, according to Zillow, is one simple principle. A listing publicly marketed to any buyer should be marketed to every buyer. If one buyer sees a home, every buyer should. No secret sales, no pocket listings, no early access for select buyers while everyone else is left in the dark. Sounds good, right? But the reality is a little more complicated, and not everyone agrees with this move. So why is Zillow doing this? Well, they say their position is all about transparency. They want to make sure every publicly marketed home is available to every buyer at the same time through platforms like theirs. Over the last few years, some brokerages have started keeping their listings in-house, marketing them privately before releasing them to the public. This is a strategy called exclusive inventory, and it's often pitched as a way to create buzz or control who sees the home. But in reality, many see this as a way to keep commissions in-house with the same company. But Zillow and many of the supporters of this new policy believes that hurts buyers, and they're not wrong. Imagine a house being sold before it ever hits the public market. You never had a shot because you didn't know it existed. This new rule is Zillow's way of saying, if you're going to market a home, make it available to everyone, not just a select few. But here's the catch. Buyers don't have access to the MLS. Only licensed agents do, and they pay to use it. So Zillow is trying to force all public listings into the MLS, not because buyers can access it directly, but because Zillow pulls its data from MLS feeds. If it's not in the MLS, Zillow doesn't see it, and now they won't even allow it if it's added later. This isn't just a policy update. It's a power move. Let's look at how easy it is to accidentally trigger this rule. Example number 1, the Instagram teaser. Your real estate agent goes on social media and posts, "Just listed, 123 Main Street, DM me for all the details." If that post goes up and the home isn't listed in the MLS within 24 hours, Zillow could ban that listing forever, even if it's added at a later date. Example number 2, the old classic yard sign. Your real estate agent puts a "coming soon" sign in the yard. Seems harmless, right? But unless that listing hits the MLS within 24 hours of the sign going up, it's banned. No questions asked. These kinds of things literally happen all the time with today's marketing. Social media is a major marketing platform that most agents use to get out listing information. And the sign thing literally happens every day, especially with third-party vendors who install signs on a 2 or 3 day schedule. And once Zillow bans your listing, that's it. You're invisible on a platform with over 200 million monthly users. Now, I'm honestly not exactly sure how they're going to monitor things like this, but sellers and agents will have to ask themselves if the risk is worth missing out on the massive exposure that Zillow provides for real estate listings. So just how will this affect home buyers? Well, if you're a buyer, this sounds great on the surface. More transparency, more listings, and less gatekeeping. But here's the twist. Some big brokerages like Compass are pushing back. Instead of complying with Zillow's policy, they are threatening to pull their listings from Zillow entirely. So now as a buyer, you might see fewer homes on Zillow. Not because inventory is low, but because brokerages are keeping listings off of the platform altogether. That means buyers may have to search in more places. Zillow, Redfin, local MLSs, even individual agent websites, just to see everything that is on the market. In other words, the change that was meant to simplify the home search, well, it might actually make it more complicated. And how will this change affect sellers? Home sellers, this part is important. If you are working with a brokerage that follows Zillow's policy, your agent will need to make your listing public right away. No more testing the waters privately or rolling it out slowly. If your brokerage refuses to play by Zillow's rules, your home might not appear on Zillow at all, and that could be a huge deal. Zillow is one of the top places that buyers search for homes. We all do it. You were probably just scrolling through Zillow a few minutes ago, right? Come on, you know you were. Not being listed on Zillow could mean fewer eyeballs, fewer showings, and possibly a longer time on the market. If you are planning to sell soon, make sure you ask your agent, will my home be listed on Zillow and when? Now let's talk about for sale by owners or FSBOs. Home sellers, if you are planning to sell your home on your own, you can still list directly on Zillow. That part hasn't changed. But here's the catch. If you promote your home elsewhere first, say on Facebook Marketplace or a neighborhood group, and you don't list it on Zillow within 1 day, you could get flagged and removed. So if you're going the FSBO route, just make sure Zillow is part of your initial launch strategy. So who actually supports this and who doesn't? This policy is already causing waves in the real estate industry. Some brokerages are on board, like eXp Realty and NextHome, while others, like Compass, are fighting it hard. Some supporters say this levels the playing field. Redfin CEO Gled Kelman said he supports it, and even called on MLSs to create better coming soon options that don't penalize sellers with added days on the market. While many critics say that it is a power grab, Homes.com CEO Andy Florence called the rule a power play of epic proportions. And Compass, one of the biggest brokerages in the US, argued that this strips away their seller's choice and gives Zillow too much control. Let's not forget, Zillow is no longer just a listing site. It is a licensed brokerage. It makes money off referral fees. It decides how listings are displayed, and now it's telling agents and sellers what timeline they are allowed to follow. Because the US doesn't have a national MLS system, enforcing this kind of rule evenly across the country is going to be tricky. Still, it's a big sign of where the industry is headed, towards more transparency, more consumer access, and more control in the hands of the buyer. Or at least that's the goal. The question is, will brokerages adapt, or will this create even more fragmentation in how we buy and sell homes? Exactly what listings are safe under this new rule? Office exclusives. Totally private listings shared only within a brokerage. No yard signs, no Instagram or social media posts, nothing public. Delayed listings in the MLS, where the listing is entered but hidden while the seller preps the home. Coming soon in the MLS. Homes that are listed but not yet showable. Many MLSs have this status, and Zillow honors it. What's not safe? Any home that's publicly marketed in any way, but not in the MLS within 24 hours. So what should home buyers do here? Buyers, don't rely on Zillow alone. With Zillow's new policy, some listings may never appear on the site, even if they're available elsewhere. That's why it is so important to cast a wider net. Check platforms like Homes.com, Realtor.com, and brokerage websites such as eXp Realty, Redfin, and Compass. Each one pulls from different sources, and not all of them follow the same rules. Most importantly, work with a local real estate agent who has full access to the MLS. Agents can see listings that the public can't. And in today's market, that inside access can make all the difference in the world. There could be homes you'll never see online if you don't know where to look. What should home sellers do? Well, sellers, have a clear plan with your agent. Don't assume your agent is up to speed on Zillow's new policy. Ask specific questions like, how will my home be marketed? Will it be entered into the MLS before any public marketing happens? Are we in compliance with Zillow's 24-hour rule? If you are hoping to test the market quietly, explore options like coming soon or delayed MLS statuses, but make sure your agent knows how to use them properly. Not all MLSs allow coming soon listings. One wrong move, like a premature Instagram post or yard sign installed too early, could get your listing banned from Zillow and its massive exposure for good. Some people say this new policy is about fairness and access. Others argue it's about control and power. But no matter which side you are on, one thing is clear. How your home is listed and where now matters more than ever. Would you list your home if it meant being banned from Zillow? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're planning to buy or sell, this is definitely something you'll want to talk through with your real estate agent, especially if your goal is to get as much exposure as possible. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks so much for watching. I'm George Poporad, and I'll see you next time.